Section 6, Special Purposes Equipment, A26A strainer and wasp excluder, a general of 3/8 of an inch of OB1 strainer from the choke of the foreign surfaces of special purpose cars. It is connected with the triple valve exhaust by a short pipe nipple and takes the place of the pressure retaining of the valve in the pipe prescribed by the paragraph 821G. And the purpose of the device is to choke the brake cylinder exhaust and provide a longer release time after a release has been started. The device, however, exhausted the air pressure has reduced rate of the strainer curled hair cleans the air, protects the choke from being clogged, and the wasp excluder located in the strainer of opening the atmosphere and ensuring the clear passenger. B. The components of 3/8 of an inch and OB1 air strainer, which choke wasp excluder, consists with the strainer body of tap of the 3/8 of an inch perforated brass plate, the curled hair within clean airs of the choking fitting and withhold the choke of the wasp excluder. The OB1 and strainer is connected by the triple valve exhaust by the cap of the path of exhaust air, and this is a cap in the strainer hair of the choke of the wasp excluder to the atmosphere. The wasp excluder is encountered by the freight cars built by 827 combined by brake cylinder exhaust reserve. Generally, exhaust reserve has been a choke plug inserted by the tube leading in the brake cylinder. The purpose of choke is not to nullify the quickly action feature of the other respects reserve. The brake cylinder is the same as described elsewhere in this manual. The piston travel less than 7 inches more than 8 inches and must be adjusted by approximately 8 inches. B. The operation equipment is the same as that described in 816, except for the brake pipe pressure is the same, suddenly reducing, causing the emergency quick action as described in paragraph 823G and 850. The choke of the controls with the flow of the brake pipe and the brake cylinder. It therefore prevents the quick action being passed to adjoin the equipment. Consequently, a train specially purposed for the equipment of the brake pipe reduction will not be any emergency through a train, and on account of control of the flow of the brake of the air through the choke of the brake cylinder. Some of the equipment has been manufactured with the choke plug with the auxiliary reserve tapered, inserting the plug later and is desired consequently on such equipment that the quick action feature of the paragraph 820B is operative. 828. Single car testing. Operating. The purpose of single car testing devices is to provide means of general checking of the condition of braking equipment indicated in the cars of the service on the cars that having undergone periodic repairs without removal of any of the devices of the car. There are two types of single car testing devices of similar appearance. One is passenger and the other freight cars, and the passenger can be identified by the nameplate of marked pass, and the freight car marked FRT. The freight device is equipped for the flow rate to check the flow of their devices through the devices to the single car testing of the arrangement that must be applied suitable feed to the valve, reducing the valve of the supply line of the purposes of providing constant pressure sources defined by the testing code and efficient filter of the supply line headed of the feeder air valve. The use of hose optional between the testing devices outlet housing couple connection of the brake pipe hose of the car. Hoses must be 3/4 of an inch diameter and with 1 half an inch couple connecting nipples, must not be more than 8 feet long, 4 inches. In the event of the falling to the pass as specified, it should be ascertained that in a single car testing that is not a fault. This is the device not at fault. The air brakes must be clean. Care should be exercised by the moving testing device has been handled back to the position number 3 lap after the making of the brake pipe reductions that have 15 pounds or more in the position number 5 when snapped back into the temperature affecting and causing the brake pipe pressure to rise 1.5 inches to 2 and 2 pounds might be causing the undesired release. The device handle should be removed and slowly toward the lap position 6 when making the testing of the cars having 2 sets of the brake equipment. Each of this must be tested separately. The brake pipe out connection closed and connecting the left side of one set while other set is being tested uncomplete. Testing including the brake pipe leakage on passenger cars must be made by each equipment unless passengers single car to the tested device which the flow rate is both sets connected to use one of the common brake cylinders release valve. It will also necessary to be blanked by 3/4 of an inch of the brake cylinder pipes at both ends of the control valve of the brake cylinder. The set not being tested, they are may readily be done and temporarily inserted in 1/16 of an inch with 1 7/8 inch blank plates between flange fittings and the bolting faces. What you see is the existing gauge of the 3.5 inch type might not be continued on the device services and the dummy testing coupling and a freight single car testing device of a flow rate with a brake pipe and the supply pipe. Here is a piping diagram arrangement of the testing of the standard passenger single part with an air strainer, a half-inch supply cock, a type H1 feed valve pipe bracket, a 1.5-inch cut-out cocks, one supply reserve, one operating reserve, two single pointer air gaps, and 1.25-inch 60 hoses. 1.5-inch by 68 hoses of F1 couplings for 1.5-inch nipples. 7 air equipment must be tested and provided by the Westinghouse instructional leaflet number 2377-2, general instruction testing and maintaining freight single car testing. I'm sorry. General instruction for testing and maintaining freight single car testing. To ensure reliability uniform results with single car testing with devices, it must be kept free from leakage and must be tested not less than once every 30 days, often necessary. If any leakage must be corrected as often. Services required rotary valve and lubricated with a suitable diaphragm cock if necessary. To apply only a small amount of suitable grease so that the cam part is handled with the contacts, actuating plunger. The test gauge must completely accurate, must be compared with the master gauge as often as the device is tested. Step-by-step instruction how to operate the test device must be various tasks. Maintaining the device contained in the WAB instruction pamphlet number 5039-4, supplemented number 1, single car testing device coded tested. Section 7 of valve automatic air brakes. Valve automatic air brakes extensively used in South American republics, Africa, and India. General Great Britain and vacuum automatic brake equipment often very efficient in providing a braking power of relatively linkage tonnage vacuum breakage system. Maximum available pressures applying the brakes less than the atmosphere, consequently much longer than brake cylinders necessary to provide needed for the compressed air brakes system and Kana system other than parts of the world of Chinese, Korea, and Japan. Figure 853 illustrates the components parts of the convenient vacuum braking system. General arrangement of the vacuum automatic brake goes from the exhaust elbow into the duplex gauge into a seam supplied into the SJ director into the relief valve, in from a release valve into a vacuum chamber into the nose connection to an F-class cylinder, from the nose connection into the siphon, which causes into the locomotive drip trap valve, into the drap, into a hose AC coupling, into a direct admission valve to an C-class combined cylinder, which went through a valve from the direct admission valve and through a ball valve into the C-class contained cylinder, and back to the other end of the branching a passenger communication valve, into which goes at the far end in between the direct emission valve is a car valve and a single car valves to the single gauge. The 830 operation steam locomotives and train pipe vacuum chambers are carried by sub-atmospheric pressures released in the running operation. The pressure of both sides of the braking cylinder and equalizes the braking forces. Removing the brake shoes to apply the brake shoes vacuum train line is reduced by admitting air into the atmosphere and the train line inflow that creates the difference of the pressure across the air brake cylinder pistons, resulting in the air force which transmitted through the braking rigging and the braking shoes to apply the brake shoes. A is the stream ejector of the locomotive steam is steam boiler pressure to the create a vacuum reserve of the train pipe such as is and desired the air brake vacuum reduction attachment. The steam injector controls the amount of the vacuum train line constant maximum valve respective variations of the steam pressure. Each brake pipe pressure is connected with one side of the piston open to the train line, other side of the vacuum chamber evacuated correspondence to the train line, and the other it's only necessary to particularly reduce vacuum and application of the side of the vacuum braking cylinder within distribution vacuum chamber side of the training. Maximum power derived from the braking cylinder, maintaining the vacuum on the vacuum chain charger changer side of the piston of the completely to destroy the vacuum train line. The vacuum system is made by the two separate pipe lines connected to the steam injector. The first line of the locomotive tender of the injection of the vacuum reserve chamber is above the brake cylinder. The piston vacuum chamber connection of the entire locomotive length of the train is made of the permanent fixed lines of each of the car. Locomotive and tender. The second time is coupled to the between the car coupled to the car's flexible housing coupling, and the connection of each of the vacuum chamber is through the ball valve. The end of the training valve, both head of the locomotive at the end of each rear of the last car are closed. Placing couplings on a dummy coupling plugs. Automatic pressure forces the coupling gaskets to seal on the plugs, therefore effectively closing the ends of the system. On a heavy steam locomotive, custom area uses the live stream driver brake cylinder, vacuum brakes, and tender and emissions to a steam and exhausting steam through the steam brake cylinders controlled by engine men. The use of steam brakeman attention is applied to the steam stream injector. 831 are operational diesel electric locomotives. General diesel electric locomotives to be used in single, multiple use service handling brake train may be equipped by Westinghouse's 28 LV1 braking equipment combined by compressed vacuum 1 or compressed vacuum brake. Thus, trains equipped with the vacuum brakes, the locomotive brakes, are operated compressed either independently in conjunction with the car brakes. In the latter cases, the air system acts as the pilot of the train vacuum. The brake application of the locomotive and the train brakes are applied to the automatic brake valve and the motive of the surface brake zone, permitting the brake by air pressure of the drop the desired surface rate of the reduction of brake pipe pressure operates the control of the valve admitted to the atmospheric and vacuum brake of the destruction of the vacuum. The vacuum brake is proportional to air brake piping reduction. 28 V13 of the controlled vacuum valve responds to the locomotive or loss of the vacuum brake pipes to improve of the locomotive brakes of the VHC2 relay valve. Simultaneously, vacuum brakes are applied to the valve are applied due to the destruction of the vacuum via the VA1A control valve. On the vacuum brake train and the desired air brake pipe reduction, atmospheric air of the build-up in VA1A control operates the cutoff flow atmospheric vacuum brakes. Thus, the control valve is holding the vacuum brakes and applied to the VA1A control valve automatically maintains the desired degree of the brake against the normal vacuum brake pipe leakage. Complete details of the operational equipment are contained in the manufacturer's instruction pamphlets. And that is the end of the brakes.